All right, let's talk about the English football pyramid. Now, in the world of sports, you have leagues, you have championships, but you really don't have anything quite like this. It's a system where, in theory, a team that starts out in a local park could actually climb all the way to global superstardom. It's a structure built really on just one thing: hope.
Someone once called it a living, breathing monument to possibility. And honestly, that just absolutely nails it. See, this isn't just a bunch of leagues stacked on top of each other. It's a promise. It's the promise that it doesn't matter how small your club is or where you start from, there is a path to the very, very top. The dream is always alive.
So how does this whole thing actually work? Well, the engine behind it is a concept that is simple, brutal, and kind of beautiful all at once: promotion and relegation. You win enough games, you move up a league. You lose too many, you drop down. There are no safety nets, no protected franchises like you see in other sports. Every single game matters, from the absolute peak of the pyramid right down to the very bottom.
So here's how we're going to break it down. We're going to start with the promise itself, then we'll dive into the glitz and glamour of the professional game. After that, we'll head into the heartland of non-league football, and then all the way down to the grassroots foundation, before we look at what makes this system so enduring and, well, so unique.
So let's start with that core promise. Just think about this. We are talking about more than 700 clubs, all connected, and they all exist inside this one single system, where your performance on the field is the only thing that really matters for getting ahead.
Okay, now for the part of the pyramid that most of the world actually sees: the professional game. We're talking tiers 1 through 4. This is the promised land, right? And it all starts with the global spectacle that is the Premier League.
The amount of money sloshing around at the top is, well, it's just hard to get your head around. To put it into perspective for you, if you finish dead last in the Premier League, you literally get relegated, your club still gets over £100 million in TV money. Now, this creates something called parachute payments, which are supposed to soften the blow of dropping down, but it also creates this massive competitive imbalance in the league below.
And if you want to get into that exclusive club, the prize is just immense. The final playoff match to get promoted from the second tier is often called the richest game in football. Why? Because winning it can be worth around £200 million. The stakes just could not be higher.
And it's not just about finishing first or second to go up automatically. No, the playoff system creates this incredible high-stakes drama. You have to battle your way through a two-legged semi-final, home and away, before you get to a one-off, winner-take-all final at the legendary Wembley Stadium. It is pure sporting theatre.
Okay, so let's step down a level. Below the full-time, professional world of those top 4 divisions, you find the non-league ladder. And this is such a critical bridge between the pro game and the semi-professional heart of English football. This is where those dreams of making it big start to feel, well, real.
And down here, the day-to-day reality just completely changes. In the pro game, football is your full-time job. But in non-league, you get a mix. A lot of these players are semi-pro, which means they're balancing a regular day job with training and playing. The fan bases become more local, more regional, and a whole new factor becomes absolutely critical: the quality of your stadium.
And as you go further down, the pyramid has to adapt to simple geography. It makes sense, right? At Tier 6, the whole system splits into a North and a South division. This just makes travel more manageable for these smaller semi-pro clubs. And from here on down, those local rivalries, they basically define the entire season.
Now, we reach the bedrock, Tiers 9 and below. This is grassroots football. It's the foundation that everything else is built on. This isn't about fame or fortune. This is about the local butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker playing for their town on a wet Tuesday night, simply for the love of the game and for their community. Just look at this. The financial difference is just breathtaking. A Premier League club might have a budget of over £200 million. A club at the top of non-league, maybe £500,000. But a county league club, way down in the grassroots tiers, they could be running on just £20,000 for an entire year. The difference in scale is almost impossible to imagine.
So what does that £20,000 budget actually look like? Well, it means the players are amateurs. They're playing for pride. They might get their travel costs covered, but that's about it. It means volunteers are doing everything: marking the pitch, washing the uniforms, serving food at halftime. This is football in its absolute purest form, where a win against the next town over is the most important thing in the world.
So, we've gone on a journey from the billion-pound peak all the way down to the village green. Let's try and pull it all together and figure out why this open, merit-based system is so incredibly important, especially in the world of modern sports.
This table really just lays it all out, doesn't it? You can see the whole story right here.
You go from full-time pros playing for 60,000 fans, funded by massive TV deals, all the way down to amateurs playing for a crowd of maybe 20 people, funded by local fundraisers and the passion of volunteers.
But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. It is not just about winning on the field. To get promoted, your stadium, your ground, has to meet really strict standards. It's called ground grading, and it can be an absolute heartbreaker. You could be the best team in the league by a mile, but if your facilities aren't up to scratch, sorry, you're not going up.
So with all these challenges, is the dream even possible anymore? Well, the story of AFC Wimbledon proves that it is. This club was formed by its own fans back in 2002, starting way down at the bottom, in Tier 9. By 2011, they had climbed all the way to the Professional Football League. And just 5 years after that, they got promoted again to Tier 3. It's an incredible journey that serves as the ultimate proof that the system can work.
So when you boil it all down, what really sets the pyramid apart? Well, it's a true open meritocracy. It is the exact opposite of a closed franchise system. It creates this incredibly deep connection to the community, and it links over 700 clubs into one giant competitive ecosystem where success has to be earned, can't be bought.
And that really brings us to the final, critical question. You know, in a world where the top of the game gets richer and more exclusive every year, with all this talk of closed-off super leagues, can this beautiful, chaotic, and wonderfully open monument to possibility actually survive? That's the challenge that's facing the very soul of the game today.